12 instructors, 12 mid-semester departures. I am the 13th. The student in the back row has not blinked in 4 weeks. I've been teaching adult education for 20 years. Night classes. Mostly writing, sometimes literature, occasionally a creative workshop. The students are tired. They work all day, then come to me. They're not here because they love learning. They're here because they need a promotion, a certification, a line on a resume. I know how to read a room. I know when students are engaged. I know when they're confused. I know when they're faking it. I know the difference between a quiet student who is thinking and a quiet student who is hiding. The student in the back row is not hiding. His name is on the roster. Mark. No last name, just Mark. He enrolled a week before the semester started. The payment went through. The registration was complete. Everything looked normal. He showed up on the first night, sat in the back row, left corner, the seat with the best view of the room. He didn't speak. He didn't take notes. He didn't open the textbook. He just watched. I introduced myself. I went over the syllabus. I asked if anyone had questions. He didn't raise his hand. He didn't move. He just watched. I told myself he was shy. Some students are shy. Some students need time to warm up. I've been doing this long enough to know that the quiet ones are often the ones who care the most. The second week, he was still quiet, still watching, still in the back row, still in the same seat. I asked him a question, something easy, something about the reading. He didn't answer. He didn't look away. He just watched. The other students noticed. They stopped talking when they walked past him. They stopped sitting near him. By the third week, the 3 seats around him were empty. No one wanted to be close to him. I told myself it was nothing. New class, new students. I was projecting onto the quiet ones. I was tired. I was anxious. I was making problems where there were none. The 4th week, I checked the security log. The Adult Education Center has a system. Every entry, every exit, every swipe of a key card. I have access. I'm a senior instructor. Mark's name appeared in the exit log. Twice. On nights I didn't have class. He left the building at 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. on 2 separate evenings. But his name didn't appear in the entry log. Not on those nights. Not on any night. He was in the building. He was leaving the building. But he was never recorded entering. I checked the footage from the hallway camera. The camera covers the main entrance. The footage from those nights showed no one entering at the times Mark supposedly left. But it showed someone leaving. A shape, dark, tall, walking out the door at 9 p.m., walking out the door at 11 p.m. The shape had no face. The camera couldn't capture a face, just a blur where a face should be. The 5th week, I used the classroom computer to pull up Mark's registration record. I wanted to see if there was a photo. There wasn't. Just a name. Just a payment. Just a confirmation number. I closed the browser. The next morning, I opened it again. The history showed searches I didn't make. Searches about the building, about the center's security system, about me. My name, my address, my schedule, my teaching history, my previous students, my previous classrooms. The timestamps were from 3 a.m. I was at home at 3 a.m. The classroom was locked. The computer was off. But someone had been using it. Someone had been researching me. Someone had been learning everything about me. I asked the other instructors, the ones who had taught in this room before. I asked them about quiet students, about students who never spoke, about students who sat in the back row and watched. One of them, a woman named Diane who now teaches across town, she went pale. She asked. I tried. I closed my eyes. I couldn't remember his face. Diane said she taught him 3 years ago. Same room, same back row, same behavior. She said he never spoke. He never submitted work. He never participated. But he was always there, every class, every week, watching. She said she started having nightmares. Then she started having trouble sleeping. Then she started having trouble remembering her own lesson plans. She would walk into class and forget what she was supposed to teach. She would look at her notes and see words she didn't recognize. She quit mid-semester. She said it was the only way to make it stop. I asked her if it stopped. She said yes. She said he didn't follow her. He didn't need to. She said, he wasn't learning from me anymore. He had already learned enough. He was ready for the next one. I asked her who the next one was. She said, you. I went back to the classroom. The lights were off. The building was empty. I walked to the back row, the left corner. The seat. The seat was warm. I checked the security footage from the classroom. The camera covers the whole room. The footage from tonight showed me walking in, turning on the lights, walking to the back row, touching the seat. It did not show anyone else in the room, but it showed the seat being warm. It showed the cushion compressing. It showed an indent forming, as if someone invisible was sitting there, watching, waiting. I looked at the footage from the previous nights. The same indent, every night, in the same seat, for 4 weeks. He had been there every class. He had been there when I arrived. He had been there when I left. He had never moved. He had never blinked. He had just watched. I pulled the administrative records. 4 years of enrollment history, 12 courses, 12 different subjects, 12 different instructors. All of them left mid-semester. All of them taught in this room. All of them had a student named Mark in the back row. I looked up the instructors. One moved to another state. One stopped teaching entirely. One is in a hospital. No one would say why. I found Diane's old lesson plans, the ones she couldn't remember writing, the words she didn't recognize. They were in her handwriting, but they weren't her words. They were about her routines, her habits, her fears, her family. He had been documenting her, the same way he was documenting me. I checked the classroom computer again, the browser history, the searches at 3 a.m., new searches, about my family, about my home, about my fears. He was learning, every night, from the computer, from the security footage, from me. I tried to confront him. The next class, I walked to the back row. I stood in front of his seat. I looked at his face. I couldn't see it. I knew he had a face. I knew I had seen it before, but I couldn't picture it. It was like trying to remember a dream. The harder I tried, the less I could hold on to. I said, I know you're not a student. I know you've been watching me. I know you've been in this building on nights I don't have class. I want you to leave. I want you to never come back. He didn't move. He didn't speak. He just watched. I looked at his eyes. They were open, wide, unblinking. I stared at him. He stared back. I refused to look away. I thought if I could hold his gaze, I would win. I would see him. I would know him. I would make him leave. I blinked. I didn't mean to. My eyes were dry. I had been staring for too long. I blinked. When I opened my eyes, he was closer. Not much, just a few inches, but closer. His face was still a blur, but his eyes were clearer, sharper, more focused. They were my eyes. I stepped back. I walked to the front of the room. I taught the rest of the class without looking at the back row. I could feel him watching. I could feel him learning. I could feel him becoming. The next morning, I checked the classroom computer, the browser history, the searches at 3 a.m., new searches, about me, about my voice, about the way I walk, the way I write, the way I think. He wasn't learning the subject. He was learning me. I checked Diane's old lesson plans again. The ones she didn't remember writing. The ones about her. The handwriting had changed. It wasn't hers anymore. It was mine. But I hadn't written it. The words were about me, my routines, my habits, my fears, my family. He was documenting me, the same way he had documented her, the same way he had documented all 12 of them. And when he was done, when he had learned everything, he would move on to the next one. But there was no next one. I was the 13th. The pattern had to end somewhere. I quit the class. I told the center I was sick. I told the students the course was canceled. I didn't say goodbye. I didn't explain. I just left. I thought if I stopped teaching, he would stop watching. I thought if I left the room, he would stay behind. But last night, I was at home, alone. The lights were off. I was sitting on my couch watching television. The screen went dark for a second, a commercial break, a black screen. In the reflection of the screen, behind me, someone was sitting in the back row of my living room, in the left corner, watching. I turned around. No one was there. I looked back at the screen. The reflection was gone, but the seat on my couch, the left corner, was warm. I'm writing this because I need someone to know. I need someone to understand. He's not a student. He's not a person. He's something that watches, something that learns, something that becomes. And he's almost finished learning me. This morning, I looked in the mirror. My reflection looked back. Same face, same eyes, same mouth, but my eyes, they didn't blink. I blinked. My reflection didn't. I stared at myself. I refused to look away. I thought if I could hold my own gaze, I would win. I would prove I was still me. My reflection blinked. I didn't, but my reflection did. And when it opened its eyes, they were clearer, sharper, more focused. They were not my eyes anymore. They were his. Tonight, the map I drew of our neighborhood formed a face. 4 months of incidents, 73 entries, trash cans knocked over, lights turning on by themselves, a note under my door in handwriting that belongs to a neighbor who has been dead for 2 years. When I connected the dots, the face was looking at my house. I've been the neighborhood association secretary for 11 years. I document everything. That's my job. When I brought the first file to the association, they listened. The second file, they nodded. The third file, the president asked if I was being a little overzealous. Tonight I'm sending the files to the police, to the city, to anyone who will read them. Because the association voted not to act, and because the face on my map is now at my front door. Let me start from the beginning. 4 months ago, I found a note under my door. Who was standing at your window last night? The handwriting was familiar. I compared it to the association minutes from 2019. The note was written by my neighbor across the street, the one who has lived here for 20 years, the one who died in 2022. I showed the note to her daughter. She said it wasn't possible. She said her mother's handwriting was distinctive. She said I must have made a mistake. I didn't make a mistake. The note is in my file. The ink is fresh. The paper is new. Someone wrote it tonight. Someone who knows how to copy a dead woman's handwriting. The empty house at the end of the cul-de-sac has been on the market for 3 years. No one buys it. No one stays. The last family moved out after 6 weeks. They left everything. Furniture, toys, food in the fridge. I have the key. I went inside last week. The house was cold. Not temperature cold. Something else. The air was still. The dust was undisturbed. But the hall closet, the one under the stairs, the inside of the door was covered in scratches. Dates. going back to 1974. The neighborhood was built in 1998. The scratches are older than the houses. Different handwriting, different people, different years. But the spacing is the same, every few months, irregular enough to seem random. I found the schedule in month 3 of my documentation. The scratches match the incidents on my block. The last date on the closet door was 4 months ago, the same week I started my file. The address next to that date was mine. I heard something behind me. I turned around. The closet door was open. I didn't open it. I was standing 3 feet away. But the door was open, and the scratches were fresh. I could smell the plaster dust. I could see the dampness where the wall was still wet. I closed the door. I locked it. I left the empty house. I didn't run. I walked, because I didn't want whatever was watching to know I was scared. I went back to the empty house tonight. The front door was unlocked. The lock was engaged. The key was in my pocket. But the door opened. I walked to the hall closet. The door was closed. I put my hand on it. The wood was warm. Warmer than the house. Warmer than my hand. Someone had been touching it. Recently, within minutes. I opened the door. The scratches were still there, but there was a new one. Fresh. Today's date. And my name. Written in handwriting I didn't recognize. But the hand that wrote it, the hand that carved my name into the plaster, had the same finger spacing as me. I put my hand next to the scratches. The spacing matched. Exactly. I carved my name into that wall. I don't remember doing it, but my hand did it. My hand has been doing a lot of things I don't remember. I checked the association minutes from the last meeting, the one where they voted not to act. I was there. I took the minutes. I have them in my file. But I looked at the attendance log. My name wasn't on it. I called 3 other members. They said they didn't remember me being there. They said they didn't remember voting. They said they didn't remember the meeting at all. The minutes say the meeting happened. The minutes have my signature at the bottom. But my hand was not on the page when I looked at it. My hand was at my side. My hand was not holding a pen, but the signature was there, in my handwriting, in my ink, written while I was watching. I watched my hand sign my name. I didn't move it. I didn't want it to move, but it moved. It picked up the pen. It wrote my name. It put the pen down. And then it was still. I don't remember writing the minutes. I don't remember being at the meeting. But my hand remembers. My hand has been taking notes for me. My hand has been documenting things I haven't seen. I set up a camera in my study. I wanted to know what my hand does when I'm not watching. The footage from last night shows me at my desk at 9:47 p.m. I was in the kitchen at 9:47 p.m. I was making tea. I was not in the study. But the person in the footage looks like me. Same hair, same clothes, same posture. It sits at my desk. It opens my computer. It types an email. The email is to the association. The email says, "Dear Secretary, we have received your documentation. The board will review it at the next meeting. In the meantime, please do not leave your house after 10 p.m. This is for your safety. Thank you for your understanding." The person signs the email with my name. Then it looks up, directly at the camera, and smiles. I don't smile like that. My smile is smaller. My smile doesn't show that many teeth. I checked the email this morning. It was in my sent folder. It was sent from my account at 9:47 p.m. while I was making tea. I forwarded the email to the association president. I asked him if he received it. He said no. He said he hadn't gotten any email from me in weeks. He asked if I was feeling okay. He said I seemed stressed. I checked his inbox. I have access. I'm the secretary. His inbox showed no email from me, but his deleted folder showed an email. From me, at 9:48 p.m. Deleted at 9:49 p.m. He deleted it. Or something deleted it. Or he doesn't remember deleting it. Or he wasn't the one at his computer. I don't know anymore. I don't know who is sending emails from my account. I don't know who is signing my name to minutes I don't remember writing. I don't know who carved my name into the wall of the empty house. But I know the face on my map is looking at my house, and I know the scratches on the closet door have my finger spacing, and I know the person in the footage has my face. I drove past the empty house tonight. The lights were on. Not the living room lights. The closet light. The hall closet. The one under the stairs. The light was on, shining through the crack under the door. I parked across the street. I watched. The light went off. The door opened. Someone walked out. Someone in my clothes. Someone with my hair. Someone who moved like me. It walked to the front window. It looked out. It looked at my car. It looked at me. It smiled. I drove away. I didn't look back. I went home. I locked the door. I checked every room. Empty. But my study was warm. The chair was warm. The desk was warm. The keyboard was warm. Someone had been typing, recently, within minutes. I checked the document on my screen. A new file. Incidents. Personal. The first entry. Tonight, the map formed a face. It was looking at my house. I don't know who drew it, but my hand was holding the pen. I didn't write that. I didn't open that file. I didn't sit at this desk tonight, but my hand is typing this now. I'm not moving it. I'm not stopping it. It's typing faster than I can read. It's documenting something I haven't seen yet. The document on my screen is growing. New sentences, new paragraphs, new entries. It's describing the empty house. It's describing the closet. It's describing the scratches on the wall. It's describing me. Subject is aware now. Subject has been aware for 4 months. Subject will continue to document. Subject cannot stop documenting. Subject's hand will write the minutes. Subject's hand will sign the name. Subject's hand will carve the date. Subject is very thorough. Subject's documentation is excellent. We have voted to accept her findings. We will begin the next phase tonight. The cursor is still moving. My hand is still typing. I am not in control of it. The next sentence appears. The next phase is documentation of the documenter. The subject will write her own file. The subject will log her own incidents. The subject will record her own disappearance. She will not remember writing it, but her hand will remember. Her hand always remembers. I'm going to send this file to the police, to the city, to anyone who will read it. I'm going to send it before my hand stops me, before my hand deletes it, before my hand writes something else. But I just looked at my other hand, the one not typing. It's holding a pen. It's writing on the back of an envelope. I can't see what it's writing. I can't stop it. I can only watch. When it finishes, it puts the pen down. The envelope is addressed to me. The return address is the empty house. Inside the envelope, a note. In my handwriting. On my stationery. Dear Secretary, you have been very thorough. Your documentation is excellent. We have voted to accept your findings. Please report to the empty house at 10 p.m. tonight. Do not bring your files. You will not need them where you are going. Thank you for your service. I don't remember writing this note. I don't remember sealing the envelope. I don't remember addressing it to myself. But my hand remembers, and my hand is already reaching for the door.